in 2025, the best team in the league was the Milwaukee Brewers, who had a 97-65 record. That's a .599 win percentage. You'd think that their record during spring training would be well above 500, right? It was a 16-14 record, which translates to .550. In 162 games, .550 gets you an 89-73 record. That's good, but a far cry from dominant. If the Brewers went 89-73, they would go from the first seed to the sixth seed in the NL. They say that spring training is not an indicator of regular season success, that the loads of minor league shuffling in the roster and tie games is no indication of success. But can it tell us anything? And if not, why do we play it in the first place? Before we begin, be sure to like and subscribe, and share the video with anyone who enjoys this type of content. To find the truth, I went through 450 seasons from 2011 to 2025. Now, there may be a few errors, but it gives us a good picture. I also went at a different angle. Farm system rankings. Why? The roster is full of AAA players. I mean, look at my White Sox. This is their first game of 2026 spring training. They had regular players. They had newcomer Munetaka Murakami, they had Colson Montgomery, and they also had prospects like Brady Montgomery, Jairo Iriarte, and Sam Antonaki. So, what did I find? In the end, it doesn't matter what your team does in spring training. If they go 0-25, they might still go 162 in the regular season. If their spring training record is 25-zip, they might go 40-122. Let's look at division winners for every season. Of the 90 division winners from 2011 to last season, only 52 had a winning record in spring training. 10 World Series winners had a winning record in spring training, and the best spring training team, win percentage-wise, each year had a regular season winning record only 5 times. So with that in mind, here are 2 questions. Why do we play spring training aside to give some rookies reps? 2, is there actually anything to look forward to based on spring results? In 2011, the Kansas City Royals had the #1 farm system preseason rankings, and they went 20-10 in spring training. In 2013, the St. Louis Cardinals also had the #1 ranked preseason farm system and went 16-15. Same for the 2017 Yankees. #1 ranked preseason farm system had a winning record. 2019 Padres, 2020 Rays, and the 2023 and 2024 Orioles. In the last 15 years, approximately 7 out of 15 teams which had a #1 ranked preseason farm system had a winning spring training record the same year. If your team has the #1 ranked farm system this year, it's a toss-up to say you'll be good in spring training. However, if you do have the #1 ranked farm system, chances are you are going to dominate the regular season, as 12 out of the last 15 teams with the best farm talent ended up having a winning record. Of those 12, only 6 won the division, but 10 won over 90 games, and 5 won over 95 games. Or in the case of the 2020 Rays, they had the winning percentage to win 95 games in a full season. Now, let's go back to the 7 out of 15 teams that had a winning record during spring training. How many of those teams do you think won above 90 games? 86% of the teams that had a winning record in spring training went on to dominate the regular season. Now, all of this makes sense. We know a good farm system is absolutely something to be excited about, and that MLB teams with a good farm system get good records. But what about teams that have sustained dominance for nearly a decade? The Astros in 2016 had an 18-11 record during spring training. Here's how the rest of those seasons folded out. Note that 2020 and 2021 were the aftermath of the sign stealing scandal. The Astros, as you can see, were slowly but surely churning out talent from their massive rebuild. Gurriel, Tucker, Alvarez, Urquidy, Javier, Pena. No wonder they've been able to stay on the top for so long, controversy aside. The Dodgers, meanwhile, since making their first World Series in the 21st century back in 2017, not surprising. They've always had a knack for developing players and signing international talent as good as they have signing players during free agency. The Yankees? And it even worked for small market Moneyball teams like the A's, or the Brewers. As we've seen with the Brewers, Astros, Dodgers, and Athletics, Moneyball is very effective in spring training records. We can see a pattern that teams with near decade-long runs of dominance tend to actually fare well in spring training, for the most part. But even then, there are outliers. Well, some seasons of the Yankees for the most part. To conclude, the only correlations that we could find is that a good farm system will take you places. Even then, the number 2 ranked farm system teams to have a winning season is 7 out of 15. But hey, if your team has a number 3 ranked farm system this year, you have an 11 and 15 chance of having a winning season. I could have made the entire video just by saying this next part, and that the reason we need spring training is because it's literally just an experimentation to do whatever in God's name you want. You can throw 30 straight curveballs, you can try new trick plays. Rookies get to see if they're worth it. But you already knew that. So please, when you watch spring training this season, do not pay attention to the record because it doesn't matter if you're 20 zip. What does matter is how the best prospects are developing. Thanks for watching and leave a comment on how hopeful you're feeling for this MLB season.